Hello everyone, it's Brian Akeem here. Welcome to my 147 live stream. Let me know if you guys can see and or hear me, please. That would be very much appreciated. If you guys have any questions about this episode, about The Walking Dead in general, just let me know. Let's see, we have some watchers. Can I get some action in the chat, please? Let's see. I'm going to get this thing started. By the way, everyone, I have a new laptop. Oh, hello, Josh. Thank you for coming. Hello, Brian. Yes. Hello, Josh. Thank you so much for coming. All right, let's get this thing started. You can hear me? Great, great. That is perfect. That's just what I wanted to hear. Now, let's turn off microphone. That's weird. Oh, let's start a voice call.
Hey, man.
Hey, sorry about that. Let me see. Am I connected? My Wi-Fi just totally dropped. Very laggy. Okay, yeah, sorry about that, guys. Walker Dead, thank you so much for coming, co-hosting with me. Really appreciate that. Yeah, let's talk about this episode, which honestly, like, good episode, but good episode. Not like I don't think it's amazing. Like Andrew Lincoln's acting and Denai's acting was amazing. And so was the dialogue. Like that was really good too. But now this title is good episode, but my goodness, that title is trash. I will say that. But yeah,
the episode titled "What We." Yeah.
Right, like the whole years gone and then by and then what we and the next one become and then the last time. At least, okay, I will admit the last time that actually does sound like a good title. Why do you have a new laptop? Great question, Josh. So yes, if none of you guys knew, I actually am using a brand new laptop. It is a silver Dell, and I'm using a new laptop because, fun fact, a couple days ago I couldn't get on Discord anymore on my old one. My computer, even if I was connected to the Wi-Fi, it wouldn't let me go on Discord, like through the app or through the website. So, like, I couldn't sign into Discord, nothing like that. So, I had a spare brand new laptop sitting on my couch in my room, so I assembled it, and boom, that's what happened. Do you think this is the best episode of The Ones Who Live? I don't know, Josh. It's better than episode 1. It's better than 1. Is it better than 3? I think it might be slightly better than 3. 2, though, I don't know. 2 was really good. I really like episode 2. Let's see. Stream acting up. Yeah, sorry the stream acted up earlier, guys. Wi-Fi laggy. Walker Dead voice isn't just gracing my ears anymore. Where's my... Okay, peak episode. Is the Wi-Fi still having issues? Nope. I don't think the title that much, but it doesn't affect the episode for me. Oh, but it does. Oh, okay, Rowdy. Yeah, it doesn't affect the episode for me, but it is just a weird thing to have. So, yeah, so Walker Dead. Let's I want to hear your feedback on the episode, and then I'll tell you mine, and we can start comparing them and figuring out what we think. So yeah, why don't you go ahead first? And I'll give you my opinion. Since you're my guest, why don't you tell me about this episode? Did you like it? Andy, Denai? Let's just start from the beginning. What do you think about this episode?
I really enjoyed the episode. I think the opening was pretty decent. I like how it was finally addressed that Michonne tells Rick finally that they have a son. I liked some of the action in the episode. I think the action where Michonne and Rick together again, putting their differences aside to kill walkers. I think that was pretty decent. And yeah, those are my positives. And another positive I had was the CRM helicopter just coming, and just blowing up the whole building. And I'm like, oh wow, that's actually pretty. That's like that caught me a little off guard, and it was like wow, it was like crazy. The ending
Mhm.
was bittersweet. I did like the ending a small little bit. Um, I like how Michonne and Rick were able to, settle their differences, and I like how Rick was trying to, explain to Michonne like, listen, the CRM, it's not a joke. It's a very big threat. It's like a next level, like like in terms of dangerous, it's a next level dangerous like threat. And I feel like Rick was trying to explain that to Michonne, but Michonne was like, no, just come home. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, well, it's not that simple. To be fair, even if Rick and Michonne was to fate their own depths, even if they were to go back to Alexandria to warn everyone about the CRM, there's no denying the fact that as long as Jadis and General Beale are still alive, as long as they know who they really are and where they're gonna go, they'll never truly be free, you know? But those are my
Yeah,
positives I have with the episode. In terms of negatives, um, I mean, I feel like in this episode, Michonne needed to tell Rick everything that had happened.
you there,
Me.
man?
I feel like, in my honest
Oh,
opinion, Michonne should have told Rick about the Whisperers, the Heads on Spikes, um, the Whisperer War, Sadiq's death, like stuff like that, so that Rick could have a proper, you know, conclusion. Like, oh, damn, like all this happened, but I wasn't there because Lord behold, Rick was trapped in the CRM. He couldn't go anywhere. I feel like that should have been addressed, but it wasn't. Um, I don't like the fact Michonne was like, "Oh, we can do anything," or "Oh, just come home," and I'm like, "Well, it's not that
yeah, yeah, that's true. One
way,
second,
but
man.
the
Oh,
CRM
sorry.
is just dangerous."
Yeah, yeah, I agree. One second. Let me just read the chat a little. Brian, do you think that returning character could be Carl from a dream sequence? Good question, DeRosa, but I do not think so. I feel like that would be a waste of an opportunity, and I feel like they're not going to do that because I feel like they already talked about Carl. I don't know who this returning character is. In my opinion, it should be Silas from World Beyond, but I heard that it's an OG Walking Dead character. But the thing is, there's not many characters it could be because it's not Maggie, it's not Negan, it's not Judith and RJ, it's not Daryl, it's not Carol. It's not someone from the Commonwealth. It's not the Vatos. It's not freaking Heath. Like, just like you know what I'm saying? Like there's like not that many options it could be because a lot of characters are dead. They're in spin-offs or they're just stuck in the Commonwealth. Like, there's not really many characters it could be. So no, I don't think it's going to be Carl. If it was going to be Carl, I feel like they would have showed, I don't know, him in something else and just, well, in a dream sequence, yes, but I feel like we would have seen that already. Instead of like the season 8 flashback with Carl when he was a little kid. Hey Dan, thank you so much for coming. You say this episode was legendary. Andy's and Denai's acting. Now that was legendary. I will admit the dialogue also. This is some of the best dialogue with Rick and Michonne. I will admit, but there are some things with this episode that slightly bugged me. Now they did kind of fix that cliffhanger from episode 3 where it's like, hey, like, couldn't they have died from the helicopter crash? Still, though, Michonne should have realized that, like, yeah, I definitely took a huge risk with that. But yeah, but then the helicopter.
Now it's bringing up I was bringing up like negatives, and I was talking about I did like the part where they brought up Carl, and I also liked it denying Andy's acting in the episode, which was pretty decent and really good. I'm not denying that. I don't know if you heard that. I'm just bringing it up.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely stood out. Um, one quick second. Just remember. Hold on, I need to type something. Just remember. I just need to. I gotta remind everyone we're live.
It's all right. Take your time. But while you're doing that, like, do you agree with some of my positives and negatives?
Kind of. It really depends on what some of your negatives were. I don't remember you hearing too much. Let's see. Do you think? No. Wasteland, please ask serious questions. Hey, Brian, do you think? No, I am not into Rick. So I would say no. Brian needs to disconnect from McDonald's Wi-Fi. Just let me. Yeah.
McDonald's
Thank you.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. I apologize for my crappy Wi-Fi that disconnects me, but I will say this. Um, I will say that even if my Wi-Fi disconnects, I'll get to my phone, and I'll still answer your guys' questions. Um, so yeah, as far as positives, pros and cons with this episode, I enjoy the setting. I think that having this whole modern hotel apartment place with Rick and Michonne, I like that. I liked how they kind of addressed that cliffhanger from last episode. I did like how they kind of explained how the facility had water and electricity. I like how they explained the X-Scar thing. Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was some those were some positives I brought up.
um,
That I liked it, how Michonne brought up, the whole X-Car situation, and but however, this is where I go to my negatives. I'm like, this was one of my negatives. I'm like, what Michonne should have, brought up everything to Rick
yeah,
besides just
Hi
that one
guys.
thing.
hi. Hey man, glad you're back. Um, thanks for coming. Yeah, it's just I didn't know if you were gonna show up,
Well,
so appreciate you coming by.
I just watched the episode and it was a good one.
It was good, I will admit. It's just my only real con with it, I suppose, is I really think that Michonne should have mentioned the Whisperers and the deaths of Paul Rovia, Enid, Sadiq, and Tara. That's one thing where I'm kind of also like it's not a big deal, but also like Rick doesn't know Negan is redeemed or whatever. He's free. I guess like what I'm saying is I kind of wish we got to see Rick's reaction to all that other stuff, but like it doesn't like hurt the episode that much. It's just that I do wish like it's just that like Paul, Sadiq, Tara, and Enid, they were somewhat important to Rick and Michonne as far as like, hey, Sadiq delivered Michonne's child, baby RJ. Enid was Carl's sort of girlfriend, from before, and she was the closest besides Judith. Enid was like the closest thing to Rick had to another daughter. You know what I mean? And kind of thing. Like, yeah. So I don't know. I do wish they kind of addressed that a little bit. And Tara, Tara and Rick did have a pretty good relationship overall in the series. And then with Sadiq, I mean, Carl died to save him, so it's like, yeah, that's a big one too. Um, Brian, what's your
Hey
thoughts on
Brian.
McDonald's? 1 second, man. Hold on. Yes,
Okay.
I think the returning character in episode 5 will be Benjamin from Extinction. Gas, I wish, but no, that's unfortunately not going to happen for many reasons. Although I would love to see Benjamin Hunter in The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live. I would love to see that, but oh my goodness, no, it's never gonna happen. It would be cool though. It would be cool. I like your enthusiasm. Hey Rick, yo, did you like Rick's reaction to finding out about RJ? I think it was good. I think it was good. But well, here's the thing. I also like it because he says it doesn't matter or whatever, and I'm just like, yes. I'm like, it's so true. Like, RJ like really is that character that's like he like if you think about it, like he really does not matter. And some people might say, oh well, he's just a kid and this and that. It's like no, kids can still matter in the Walking Dead universe. And I'm sorry, but this the fact that Rick even tried to ignore his own biological son, not Carl, RJ, it just tells me that once again, it's like, yeah, like RJ is a pretty pointless character. uh, all right, and then there was no Negan mention. Rick and Michonne don't care for him. Yeah, great insight, Rick. If Rick and Michonne do not care about Negan anymore, to like even mention him in this show, then in my opinion, that means they should never reunite with Negan ever again. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Why he here? I don't know. Brian, when did you, 300, Jay's cut? I have no idea. Oh, 300 subs. I have no idea. Um, you
Hey
should get, no,
Brian.
I'm not getting Jay's haircut. Yeah, go ahead, Nick. Go ahead.
Well, technically, they can never reunite with Negan because of Dead City. So,
Right. Like I said, yeah, that absolutely. That is another huge plot hole that prevents Rick and Michonne from ever seeing Negan or Maggie ever again because they're like, hey, guys, I got a great idea. Let's have the show take place in the future. And it's like, but isn't that going to complicate the universe? And they're just like, but future! Everyone's going to love it. It's in the future. It's like, I honestly don't know how those kind of morons got that kind of job. Honestly, I will never understand how AMC keeps hiring and finding these morons and how they get jobs. I'm sorry, I have to say it. Honestly, um, let's see. Remember
and
oh, go ahead.
sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, DeRosa, I'm not getting a Jadis haircut. No way. I have too much self-respect. Go ahead, Nick.
And by the way, I found
Michonne also mentioned that, like, yeah, we have to kill Jadis, which I'm like, yeah, actually, Rick, this is kind of a decent plan. Rick and Michonne are constantly arguing back and forth in this episode, and I'm like, honestly, like, Rick, she has a point. If you go back to the CRM, like, there has to be a way to kill Jadis and go to her apartment and get the evidence, take a helicopter, fly it out of the CRM, disable the tracker, and just get somewhere, destroy the helicopter, and then get back to Alexandria. I don't know. There's got to be some way.
and me personally, I don't know about you, but it kind of pisses me off when they bring up Carl. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I know what you mean, man. It's just, but we have to move on. Unfortunately, like, there's nothing we can do. Carl is dead. Um, all right, so Josh.
And me. Sorry.
All right. What did you think of Rick being scared of the Roomba? I thought that scene was funny. I like the part where that thing kept saying, "Your temperature will be normal in 10 minutes," and he's like, "What is that?" Like, I did love that because to me that's so funny. That literally tells you that even the CRM don't have this kind of high tech. Like, that's just so funny to me. Imagine if the CRM had Roombas. I love that Roomba in this episode. That was the best new character, and man, they killed it. Guys, people say there was not a death this episode. R.I.P. Roomba, man. R.I.P. Remember, Michonne was hecka mean to Negan during season 9 and 10. Yeah, that's true. Let's see. Definitely a favorite episode. It might be. It's one of the best episodes this season, but I don't know, Dan. I don't know if I would say it's one of the best in the franchise. It's definitely I would say it's probably the best Rick and Michonne centered episode in the franchise.
Hey,
From Walker
Brian.
Dead. Hold on, man. Rick Grimes says, fun fact, RJ was mentioned here more than he's ever talked about in The Walking Dead. Yeah, 100%. This is guest stream. Gotta get the CRM internet, Brian. I'll try. Man, I don't know what word you just said. My bad. Man, the whole stream froze. Sorry about that, guys. Brian, which character could rock that Jada's haircut? Daryl, I guess. Esteban and Roomba spinoff confirmed. Sadly, no, DeRosa. Roomba, it looks like they killed him off. All right. So okay, I caught up with the chat. So Walker Dead and Nick, why don't you guys talk? Since you haven't talked in a while.
Hey, Brian.
Yeah, go ahead.
I found it interesting how throughout this episode, Michonne was constantly talking about going back home to Alexandria when they don't know that it's under the control of the Commonwealth.
Yeah, that's true. Rick and Michonne will find out about the Commonwealth as soon as they get to Alexandria. Like, as soon. In my opinion, I just think it's so weird that Rick, who is supposed to be this high-ranking soldier in the CRM, who has helicopters, and, like, he started a base in in Oregon, and he doesn't know that there's a Commonwealth in Ohio. Like, I don't know. This is so weird. I feel like someone in the CRM should have told him. Like, he's a sergeant major or whatever. Let's see. Josh says, do you have an opinion on the scene where Michonne told Rick about the X-Scar? Yeah, I liked it. Wish we could have gotten a little bit more. Like, she mentions the whispers, like just a little bit. Question from Dan. Thank you, Dan. Do you think Beal will be in season 2? We haven't got enough of him for this season for me to be satisfied if he was done this season. If there's a season 2, Dan, then yes. Beal will definitely be in season 2 to make up for his lack of screen time in season 1. But if there isn't a season 2, I I think he could die in the finale. It's crazy, but I think it could happen. Man, I thought this was a Walker Dead stream. Yeah, it's kind of yeah, it's a little disappointing. We got to get more of him. All right, Walker Dead.
I was gonna say there's only 2 episodes left.
Yeah, I know. I agree. There's only 2 left. Walker Dead. You haven't said much. Any thoughts?
Like thoughts on other thoughts on this episode, or thoughts on what could be for next episode? Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, like, did you like the comedy in this episode? Did you like the seriousness? My goodness, Michonne with that, I saw someone in the comments say, with that black woman energy, when she was shouting at Rick, I don't know who you are, or whatever like that. I'm like, oh man, this acting is so good. I love it. It doesn't even feel like full on, like, Housewives of Atlanta or something. And I don't know, I just found that hilarious.
Denies acting in the episode.
Oh yeah, I cannot denies acting. Like, yeah, it was really, really good. What if Okafor never died? Well, then Rick would have. If Okafor never died, that depends. Does that mean Michonne and Nat never shot him down, the helicopter? If Okafor never died, then I don't know. He probably wouldn't let Rick talk to Michonne like this, but he would try to change the CRM. I don't know. In my opinion, I feel like Okafor would have been killed by Beal trying to change the CRM. I feel like he would have still died. Beal would have caught on that Okafor was doing something. And saw Michonne. That's for sure is going to be a season 2. I'm glad. Also wish just make Rick and Judith reunite, because already the actress is getting older. Yeah, fun fact, guys. The actress for Judith, she is turning 17 this month, I believe. I believe she's turning 17
right now.
I looked up Kaylee Fleming's age. You can go ahead and look it up, guys. But I think it's look it up. I think she's
She
turning
still looks
17.
like she's like 12 or 13 years old.
Well, to be fair, I'm like that too. I'm 28 and I look like I'm 16. There are people like that, you know.
Right.
Let's see. It's Michonne. Actress getting world less wasteland time. It's my stream, Wasteland. You don't like it? You can leave. Do you like Denai Guerrero's writing for this episode? Yeah, yeah. She is a better writer than Ian and Andy are. Like 10 times if they were better. Like, she's still better than them. And like, this is her only episode she's written. Like, yeah. Let's talk about this episode and keep the side talking to a minimum, please. Okay. All right. So, what else? Yeah. Oh, so yeah, Rick and Michonne. Oh yeah, go ahead.
So that scene where Rick and Michonne are on the bed and they're constantly bringing up Carl, that scene almost made me cry.
Yeah, that was good. It's small thing here when Rick said that the CRM took Carl. Part of me was just like, whoa, are we gonna find out some crazy thing that Carl was cloned by the CRM, or that the real Carl was taken away, and that they replaced the Carl in season 8 with a fake Carl, because that's why he was all about peace and stuff. And then it turns out Carl was still alive this whole time, and the Carl that died in season 8 was from an alternate universe or clone, and it's like, oh man, this would be crazy. And then it's just like, oh wait, no, oh dang it. That would have been the greatest plot twist ever in The Walking Dead. Oh, man. Oh, that would have been amazing.
It's brought up, it really just pisses me off.
Well, they can't do the multiverse in The Walking Dead. We can't have a Walking Dead multiverse. Rick doesn't care about...
And Walker Dead would agree with that.
Yeah, probably. Go ahead, Walker Dead.
Andy and I's acting was pretty good. I do agree that for like the first episode she wrote was actually pretty decent.
Sorry, man.
Who in
Curious
the
on what?
woods with the hoodie? I don't know
Oh,
who he
yeah.
is.
I think that's Jadis.
It's possible.
I don't know. Jadis is pretty
I
tall.
don't know.
Jadis
I
is a
mean,
pretty tall
I don't know.
woman.
It could be either two. It could be either one of two characters. To be fair, we know it's not going to be Heath, so let's not bring that up. It's either going to be Jadis or it's going to be Morgan. But then again,
Right.
I don't know as to who it's going to be. That's
Right, I agree. I think it's going to be someone we just don't expect. But obviously, we are going to get Jadis. Like Jadis is going to be in the episode. I would say that's Jadis, but I would say another 50% chance this so-called new character or returning character is going to be someone we just don't expect. I don't think it's going to be Morgan. There is no way Morgan was in Savannah. He was in Georgia, and then he's heading to Alexandria in Virginia to find Rick. Now you're telling me he's going to be in Oregon? Like, what? That's not going to make any sense. How is he going to go to Oregon from? Oh yeah, that's true. They did do that too.
yeah.
Yeah. Rick doesn't care about changing the CRM. He used that as an excuse because he's scared what the CRM would do to Alexandria. Yeah, I know, Rick. I agree with that. It's just that if Rick, here's the thing: if Rick wants to save Alexandria, he's got to just go to Alexandria and get everyone out. In my opinion, like because they know this for a fact. Rick has to know this for a fact. The CRM is eventually going to come for them all. Like at some point when all the zombies are. I don't know. Is it Discord or is it my Wi-Fi? Do you guys have this issue?
I don't.
Walker Dead?
There we go. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what's going on with this stupid app.
I thought it was me, man. I'm sorry.
No,
I don't know what's going on.
no, I don't think so. I don't. Something's going on with the app. Like I'm like, yeah, it's like 1 minute you try to say something, and then the next minute, Epic tries to trying to say something, but then something is happening with the app. I'm not understanding what's going on with this dumb app. I'm just
I
pointing
don't
that
either.
out.
Hey, Brian.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we know that this episode it ends with Rick and Michonne in the yellow car, and then that leads to then that leads to Jadis going after them because we've seen the scene of Jadis ramming their car with hers.
Yeah, that's coming. Next episode.
I think
I think what's
one,
gonna.
like, not
Yeah,
to
go,
cut nobody off here. I think one half
go
of the
ahead.
episode they're gonna be in that little cabin, and then like in the middle of the episode, I think that's when they go after Jadis.
Yeah. I think what's
And
gonna
by the
happen. Oh,
way,
go ahead.
Hold on,
Hey,
let
Walker Dead.
Brian. Hold on, let Brian. Say what he has to say, and then you can speak, Epic.
No, I was just gonna say. I think this is what's gonna happen. Rick and Michonne are gonna drive, go to the cabin. They're gonna meet some new random survivors that are a little dangerous. Maybe Rick kills or them or something, a few of them, and tells them to back off, whatever. And then all of a sudden, Jadis is gonna appear, be like some kind of serial killer. She's gonna be by herself. She's gonna be all crazy, and she's gonna be that stalker in the woods or whatever. And then she's gonna crash into their car, try to kill them, and then she's gonna have her gun on one of them. And then I think Michonne is gonna stab her with the katana. And then that happens. And then all of a sudden, like Michonne's gonna find out that Jadis had some backup plan, and then she's gonna be like, "Yeah, we have to, we have to go back and get the evidence or whatever." Yeah, but yeah. Go ahead. You were saying. That's all I wanted to say.
No, I was gonna tell Walker Dead that since there's 2 episodes left, that means after these 2 episodes, you're done with AMC's universe currently.
I mean, if they confirm, like, if AMC and Gimple confirm like a season 2 of The Ones Who Live, I'll check it out. But it depends on how much they're still willing to do with the ones who live. You know what I mean? Because say after the season 1 finale of the ones who live, Gippo straight up confirms like a season 2, and it's revealed like, oh, in the season 2 we're gonna get General Beale as a true proper villain, and I'm like, okay, but it depends on what they want to do. You know?
Yeah,
Depends on what they want to do.
I agree. All right, so yeah, let's see. Have you seen the preview pictures? Yes. So for the preview pictures, also, did you guys notice how in the promo they don't show Jadis or in the promo or in the preview pictures? But here's the thing, though. We know Jadis is gonna be attacking them in the woods, in the cabin, with a car, all that stuff. So we know that Jadis is going to be in this episode, but they're hiding it. Why would AMC be hiding that Jadis is in this episode? Could it be because they're going to kill her? I would think so. You know, it's like yeah, that makes so much sense. You know what I mean? That for AMC to do that. You know, hide Jadis from the footage for next episode because she's going to try to kill them, but they kill her. It just makes sense.
And me personally, if they do kill Jadis, good riddance.
I agree. It is time, honestly. Don't get me wrong, Polly McIntosh, great bad hair villain, but it's time for Jadis to go. It's time. She was she was a villain in the main show. She was a villain in World Beyond, and now she's a villain in this show. It's like, okay, guys, time to kill this character. Rick says it's insane how Andrew Lincoln has gotten an Emmy for his acting. He's phenomenal. Yeah, I think it's because The Walking Dead is a horror show, and they don't give Emmys to horror shows. They give them to cartoons, to animation, to like dramas, like family dramas kind of thing. I don't think they do it for that. What's your favorite scenes of the episode? I don't know, Josh. That's a good question. I really don't know. I don't think I have a favorite scene in this episode. I did like some of the comedy in this episode. Like, Rick, like I said, I love the part where that AI keeps talking and Rick is just like, what is that? Like, cause he's literally the audience. He's like, what is this place? What is happening? And remember when he saw the Roomba and he was like, what the? It's so funny because my parents have that exact Roomba right now in our house. And it's just so funny because when I saw that, I was thinking like, hey, it's John. And fun fact, my parents named our Roomba after my dad, which is just, it's kind of funny. I'm like, what is John doing in The Walking Dead? But yeah, it's like, oh yeah, Roombas existed before the apocalypse. Like, I guess they just came out, which that's a cool little thing. Because yeah. Let's see. Oh, hold on. Dan asks, do you think this season ends on a cliffhanger for a season 2? Yes, Dan. Didn't they say it's going to be open-ended? Didn't they say that the ones who live will be bittersweet, open-ended? Like, so I think it's going to end where Rick and Michonne see Alexandria on fire from a distance, and they think everyone is dead. And then somehow they hint at, like, hey, Judith, like, they find out that Judith might still be alive or something. I don't know. I feel like that might happen. And then also Beale is the antagonist for season 2. Like, I think that's going to happen. There's someone else Rick and Michonne are fighting too. Yeah, they're going to be fighting some cabin guys. Like, there's going to be some strangers that they come across. Like, just some minor nobodies. Out of the 4 episodes, which have you enjoyed the most? I don't know. Maybe episode 2. Maybe. But, like, this is more fresh, so I don't know. By the way, when Rick left with that backpack with Michonne, what's in his backpack? Can you guys, do you guys know what's in the backpack? What do you guys think? What's in Rick's backpack when they left the building after it collapsed? Guys?
Yeah, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. What's in Rick's backpack? When at the end of the episode, like when Rick and Michonne left the building, what's in his backpack? Do you guys have any ideas?
I have no idea. I mean, we know he's not going to be carrying his red machete, so I'm like, okay, what's in his backpack? Like that's the $1 million question, isn't it? Like, what's in there?
Yeah. Wasteland says, okay, Brian, let's be real here. General Beale isn't the main villain, antagonist of the show. It's the Roomba. No, Wasteland, the Roomba was the best. Dan, don't you think the Roomba was the best new character in this episode, and he was killed off too soon? Like, man, the Roomba. R.I.P. that Roomba, man. Rick and Michonne should have saved it. Honestly, like, come on, that would have been so sweet if they saved the Roomba. Like, honestly, uh, supplies from the building. Supplies from the building. I don't think so. And then DeRosa says probably just his CRM gear. Right, but why wouldn't he be wearing it? That's one thing I'll say. Honestly,
Hey,
that's a lot of good
Brian.
gear. Why waste it? Yeah, you have a point, but why not carry it on you? Why have a backpack? I don't know. Go ahead.
Like, me personally, I'm surprised that Michonne didn't frickin' bring up. I'm surprised she didn't bring up the events of what happened to her in her final episode in The Walking Dead and all the stuff she went through with Virgil kidnapping her and stuff.
Dude, you can't blame the you can't oh man, it's just I understand that Michonne not mentioning Virgil, but you can't blame her, dude. Scott Gimple, no, Angela King, sorry. Well, I mean, I guess him too. Scott Gimple and Angela Kang both forgot about Virgil. Like, everyone forgot about Virgil in the final Walking Dead episodes. Like, everyone forgot about him. Like, honestly. Let's see. Rick says Rick has a machete next episode. Gimple wasn't wrong, saying red machete. Rick is back. Technically, he's wrong because it's not a red machete. See. Dan says it is, man. Yes, best character of the entire show, if you ask me. Oh yeah, Roomba was better than Esteban, better than Pearl, better than Okafor, better than that. Oh man, that Roomba, man, like. R.I.P. Roomba. The universe of The Walking Dead will never be the same now that Roomba is dead. Like, honestly. Missed
Roomba,
opportunity.
no.
Okay. Yeah, they have supplies from the rooms. They jumped out of the helicopter, so nothing of CRM stuff is in Rick's bag unless he took his armor. Yeah, see, that's what I mean. Like, what's in Rick's bag? And if it's supplies from the building, it's like, well, what supplies? Like, the only supplies in the building were, like, maybe some books and stuff, and I don't think Rick would take those. Crazy how Virgil got more screen time than Scott and Heath. Yeah, he did. He had more lines. Can we establish that all three of these black guys left The Walking Dead like off screen? Like they had to die off screen? Like, I'm sorry, how crazy is that? Like, how crazy is that AMC forgot these three black guys existed and they died off screen? Like, I don't know. I find that so crazy. Like, I don't know. Josh says, any thoughts on the scene where Michonne showed Rick the Carl phone drawing? I like that, Josh. Although I did have one question. I was like, wait a minute. Rick has been living in the CRM for like 8 years, and I'm like, he never went back to that guy to like. So you're telling me that Michonne went to that guy for 1 hour, and he's like, yeah, I can draw Carl again, and then he actually does it. But Rick never went back to that guy. So, like, Rick was forgetting how Carl looked, and he didn't go back to Benjiro to have him draw Carl. That's, I don't know, just a small nitpick. Like, that part kind of confuses me. But I do like the idea. No, Rick, RJ is not better than Roomba. I'd rather have Roomba than RJ, honestly, man. RJ, at least he did something. At least he was helping out. At least he contributed. Oh, by the way, I love how we discovered more about RJ in this episode than any other times we've had him in the Walking Dead main show. Like, I love that. Michonne is like, oh, he's stubborn. And he's like you. He's got a good heart. And I'm like, wow, I'm writing this stuff down. I'm like, guys, this is juicy info we're getting about RJ because we've never heard this before in the main show. Like...
And that's the funny thing, because I know Walker Dead's not going to have RJ in his series.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it's understandable because RJ only exists because Carl died.
True.
Let's see. Getting killed off screen, so disrespectful. Yeah, but that's what happens to crappy characters. It's like next season. Oh yeah, he died, bro. Yeah, for real. Will this episode be top by the next two? I think it will, DeRosa. I think it could. Here's the thing. It depends on what they do. I don't think next episode could... That depends. I think Jadis will die next episode. If we get some good action next episode, some good character moments, it could. But the finale, that finale. I hope we get a CRM explosion. Like, I'm talking about, we get straight up Game of Thrones green trial stuff happening at the summit. Like, if we get that or something, like, oh man, that might be the best episode in the season. Like, you know what I mean? It's the heck the Roomba do. Rick, the Roomba was cleaning that room for Rick and Michonne. He was being a great contributor to society for Rick and Michonne. He was keeping that floor clean for Rick and Michonne. Every time they left the apartment, he was keeping it clean for them to bump some uglies. So, Roomba is a top character, okay? He did not bother Rick and Michonne. He did not ask for anything. He was just, man, selfless character, man. Just, I'm about to cry, Roomba. Oh, man, so sad. Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, Brian, so why do you think that throughout most of this episode, Rick was constantly just lying to Michonne and saying, we gotta go back, and there's, like, why do you think he was acting that way?
Because in his opinion, there's just, I mean, obviously he didn't know about the car and all that stuff, but in my opinion, this is why. Because it doesn't matter if they escape the CRM. It doesn't matter if Jadis thinks they're dead. It doesn't matter at all. If Jadis gives 1 second of an order, she could have Alexandra bombed in 1 hour or whatever. So it really just doesn't matter. I think Rick is realizing that, hey, we need to get back. I think Rick is just so terrified of the chance that Jadis will still just destroy Alexandra, like whatever. That's why Rick wants to get back, because he needs to make sure Jadis does not do that, because he can't trust Jadis not to destroy Alexandra with him gone like this. Even if he thinks that she thinks he's dead, it's just too much of a risk in his mind. He's just panicking because now he's thinking of, what if she destroys Alexandra? What if Judith dies? It's all that stuff going through his head. It's funny that... Yeah, I agree. That's funny, Josh, how, Michonne's like, oh, RJ is just like you. He looks like you. And I'm like, Michonne, why are you lying? Like, RJ looks nothing like Rick at all. Like, favorite Roomba moment? I don't know, man. Everything except his death. Does Virgil have more screen time than RJ? He has more lines, I'll say that. What's your rating for episode 4? I don't know. I think maybe 8.5. Maybe 8.5. I would have really liked... There were a few moments, like... it's really good. It's just that I do feel like this episode had a lot of conveniences. And also, like I said, the fact that Michonne didn't mention the Pikes, that just really bugs me. I feel like that takes down a whole, letter grade down kind of thing. Because it's just... I feel like the Pikes is just such a necessary scene to mention, in my opinion. Beale is not what World Beyond hype him up to be. Yeah, if Beale was, if he had 10 times more screen time and he was portrayed by Dominic Purcell, oh man, I would have said that you guys, World Beyond didn't hype him up enough. That's what I would have said. Rick had a little.
Instead, Beale is portrayed by a 70-year-old actor.
Well, no disrespect to Terry O'Quinn. I think he has, the acting for it. I think he has the skill. It's just that right now, with the serious lack of screen time and how little we've seen of him, and so far, I will say that I am currently not impressed with General Beale as a character. But it's not the actor. But would I have liked to see a younger Beale? Absolutely. Yeah. Were you annoyed by Rick and Michonne fighting a lot in the episode? I was, but I think it worked a little bit too. Like when they kill this walker together, and Michonne's like, Rick's like, I had that, and she's like, I had that, and he just he sprays the blood on her by accident, and she's like, really? And he's like, sorry. It's like, like that, like things like that are just kind of funny. It's like, oh man, I feel sorry for the zombies because Rick and Michonne are just like killing them brutally, and it's like the zombies are just like, yeah. Rick had a little heart attack when he hooked up with Michonne again, since he forgot. Oh, okay, dude, sheesh, you guys can't stop talking about that scene. Rick showed more emotion towards the Roomba than RJ. Yes, he did. The Rosa. Yeah, he did. Like the Roomba, Rick is like, what is that? What? And he finds out he has a son. He's just like, doesn't matter. Like, it's crazy. World Beyond is beyond. It's not Wasteland. I respectfully disagree with you. World Beyond, I love it, man. It is just as good as The Ones Who Live. It is just as good.
Season 2, you mean?
Yeah, season 2. Season 2. Yeah, season 1, I will admit, season 1 is, no. It does not compare to this show, but season 2, like, oh yeah. No World Beyond characters coming out, which means no Iris, let's go. No, Rick, Iris has to make an appearance. She has to save Rick. She has to have that scene where she saves Rick, and Rick's like, who are you? And she says, what should Iris say? What's a good line for her? World Beyond is terrible. Glad there's not many connections to it so far.
Maybe our line could be, "What's up, Obama?"
Nah, Rick's not that. But yeah. But I don't know. I will admit, Iris is not a good character. There are scenes where yeah, go ahead.
Like, I just wanted to say, like, how do you feel knowing that there's only 2 episodes left and there's been no World Beyond characters so far?
A little disappointed. But here's the thing, though. I kind of understand. Here's the thing. We have to get him in 5 or 6, episode 5 or 6, or season 2. Like, I am begging for that. Like, at this point, like, did we need to see them in episode 1 or 2 or 3 or 4? That gets tricky. That gets a little bit. I guess we didn't need to. But 5 and 6, and then season 2, yes, we have to see the World Beyond characters return. And I know, Dan here would really appreciate that because he's such a fan of Iris. Let's see. Theory,
God,
Rick. I'm kidding. But he does have a special relationship. I'm joking. Yeah. Dan does have a special relationship with Iris, though. Theory, Rick said, "Give me a remote" because he didn't want to pay child support for RJ. Yeah, he's got a lot of child support to pay for RJ. By the way, another small nitpick is Michonne says that RJ is almost 8, but that's not correct because Michonne has been gone. No, sorry. This takes place 7 years after the bridge, so RJ should be 6 at this point. You know what I'm saying? So small nitpick there with timeline again. Like I said, The Walking Dead is so bad with timelines. Like, my goodness. Like, I'm so confused where the timeline is.
You can blame AMC for that.
Yeah, like if Michonne said RJ is 6, I would have said like, oh yeah. But the fact that she said he's almost 8, I'm like, Michonne, no, that's not correct. It's been 7 years since the bridge. You were pregnant with him when the bridge happened. Like, so yeah, just small nitpick. Well, Brian, I don't know about that one. I don't think World Beyond and The Walking the same good level. I respect your opinion though. Well, here's the thing though. Season 2 of World Beyond. In my opinion, it's still just as good as currently The Ones Who Live season 1. It's just as good because I was so satisfied with World Beyond season 2. We got some really good action and so much lore with the CRM and Elizabeth Kublik and you know what I mean, like all that stuff. Season 2, and not to mention the research facility, it was so good. Like the whole Portland stuff, Omaha. I loved every bit of it. Minus the premiere and some things. Hold on, I'm almost done with the chat. If you made an episode tier list for this show, which tier would you place this episode in? Maybe second, after episode 2, maybe. World Beyond has some world-class writing. It's compelling. It's competing with Breaking Bad now. Yeah, it is, DeRosa. How is AMC the problem? How is AMC the problem with the timeline? That's all on the writers there. Yeah. The timeline with The Walking Dead, it's one of the dumbest things like in the franchise, and it's one of the biggest flops for AMC. They cannot get the timeline right because sometimes they say, like in Here's Negan, 12 years ago, and then sometimes they say, hey, 6 years after the bridge explosion, and it shows Michonne, and it's like, wait, what? Like, you know what I'm saying? There are just, yeah. World Beyond is, man, you guys are World Beyond. You guys, Man, you guys are so hard on World Beyond. World Beyond was awesome, man. It's one of the best Walking Dead seasons. Season two. It's World Beyond season two was one of the best Walking Dead seasons in the franchise. Brian, if you love Iris, you can love RJ. Well, see, here's the thing, though, Rick. Iris she's a bad character, but she's still a character. RJ is he's just a plot device. He's not even a character. So yeah, is this the best Rick and Michonne writing you've ever seen? I think it might be, Josh. I think it might be. It's so good. And by the way, guys, no CGI deer this episode. Yeah, Rick and Michonne episode and no CGI deer. Okay. All right. Nick and Walker Dead. Why don't you guys talk? Yeah. Why don't you guys talk for a little bit? I feel like I've hogged the conversation a little bit too much.
Hey, Brian.
Yeah, go ahead.
So yes, they mentioned the event of the episode from season 9, Stars, where Jocelyn kidnapped Judith and Michonne had to go track him down, save Judith, take Jocelyn out, but she didn't mention the fact that she had to slay a group of kids.
Yeah, that part. Yeah, I'll admit that part. Ooh, Wi-Fi issue. Hold on, guys. I will admit that part. Yeah, I feel like she could have mentioned that, but it's not a huge deal for me. But I will admit that, like I said, Michonne not mentioning Paul's death and the Pikes, it definitely is a bit of an issue. I am annoyed big time that they didn't mention the Pikes because it's like, yeah, more like a little irrelevant man, a JK. No, you're right, DeRosa. RJ is not the little man. He's the little irrelevant man. Like, I'm sorry. This kid, I don't understand his character. Like, as the first time we see him, he's like a toddler, he's in a onesie, and Michonne picks him up, and then all of a sudden, he's like almost as tall as Judith, and he's going to school. And he's reading Invincible. This is a graphic comic where characters get their arms and eyeballs torn out. And this kid is reading an Invincible comic, and he's like 6 or 7. Like, what the heck? Like, what in the world? Like, I'm sorry. Like, it's like, what is this kid? Like, I don't understand. Like, I'm sorry. RJ was just, I don't know what they were doing with RJ in the main show. Michonne was missing. He didn't have a dad. His Judith was missing, and he's just reading Invincible, and he's like, don't care. It's like I said, I don't understand RJ's character. I just don't think he's a character. Yeah. So
and I'm assuming that's why Walker Dead isn't going to include him in his reboot series.
There's a couple reasons.
To be fair, like Brian said, the reason why RJ existed in the Walking Dead TV show is because, to be fair, Gibble did make the decision to kill Carl. So,
yeah,
there's that. But we're not getting into that.
Yeah, Dan, you're right. Invincible is amazing, but here's the thing, though. RJ's too young. He's like, what, 6 or 7 in the final season? Like, the kid should not be reading Invincible. Oh my goodness. Let's see.
Hey, Brian.
Yeah, go ahead.
What should have happened? Daryl should have approached RJ and said, that's too mature, and that's way too mature for you, and should have took it away from him.
Right. Like, even Judith is too young to read that. Like, and she's like 3.5 years older than him. Like, so yeah, like, seriously, like a kid that age, like I said, he's 6 or 7. Like, he should not be reading Invincible. Like, my goodness. Do you think?
Can you imagine a scene where Daryl approaches RJ and be like, what are you reading? Are you reading Invincible? Give me that.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
that would have been a better option.
Right, like, Carl, when he read it at 14, like around season 4 to 6 or whatever, like when he was reading Invincible comics, like, yeah, that made sense. Like, he's a teenager. He's around that age where it's like, yeah, it's kind of acceptable. You know what I mean? Like, but like I said, RJ's 6 or 7. Like, that is not okay. Let's see. Do you think Rick in the show is better than the main show in your opinion, Brian? No, but I am liking what we're seeing. We still haven't gotten Rick Murder Jacket. We still haven't gotten that Rick back. I'm going to make a video on why RJ is the future. You will be proven wrong, Brian. No, I will not, Rick Grimes. I will never be proven wrong, man. I'm always right. I'm kidding,
Right.
but not about this. Not about this. Speaking of Invincible, has anyone watched season 2 of the show? Yes. I'm watching season 2, part 2 right now. I only have 3 episodes left to get through. But one thing I'll say is Invincible needs to come out faster, like a faster rate than like 4 episodes a year after waiting 2 years. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's gotta come back. Like, I'm not saying we need 16 episodes a year, but like at least 10 episodes a year. 10 would be nice, you know? Rick has a new machete episode 5. Yeah, I know what you mean, Dan. It's just, imagine if he had a CRM red black machete. Oh man, can you guys imagine that? If Rick had like like the blade on the machete was black and like the handle was red, or like the part of the handle was red, like it had red stripes on it, but it was just like a black machete with red stripes on it. Like, oh man, that would have been. Oh, I don't know. I love that. I feel like that'd be sick.
Hey, Brian.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, like that main apartment that we kept seeing throughout this episode, but like, did that apartment used to belong to Michonne? Did she like used to live
No,
there pre-apocalypse or something? Because I was
No.
wondering why she was going
no.
back there.
No. It wasn't. It wasn't. They just used that apartment because it's the set. You know what I mean? But that's not Michonne's apartment. There's no way it could be Michonne's apartment. She would still have photos and stuff. It's not Michonne's apartment because Michonne, we don't know where she was before the apocalypse. You know what I mean? But there's no way she was here and then she just happened to come back to the place she used to live in. Yeah, no. Oh, by the way, guys, when the CRM destroyed the helicopter, that was stuck in the building, how does that take down the whole building? Like, that bugged me a little bit this episode, just a little bit. I get how it makes the building a little unstable, but how does it take down the whole building? Like, because the CRM, they blow up the helicopter, they shoot missiles, and then the building gets damaged. And then hours pass, and also Rick and Michonne do it, and yet the building is then just slowly crumbling. I don't know. Is that how buildings work? Like, I don't think that's how buildings work. Don't you have to take down the main support columns in, you know what I mean? The main concrete pillars at the bottom, like for a building to collapse? I'm pretty sure destroying the top of a building, like, doesn't make the whole thing collapse in just hours. Like, I don't know how that works. If Angela King wrote this show, Roomba would have survived. Yeah, yeah, I wish Roomba survived. It sucks Rick and Michonne no longer have their iconic weapons. Now CRM kept Michonne's sword and Rick's police belt and his watch. Okay, well, with Rick's belt, I don't care. The CRM have way better belts than Rick. Like, you know what I mean? Like, more modern. But as far as Michonne's katana, yeah, that's a bad one. Rest in peace, Jadis in advance. No. BIH, Jadis. You guys know what that means? B BIH. I'll let you think about that. BIH Jadis. Okay, low key the architecture doesn't make sense. It's a modern apartment. Wasteland says, Nav, Angela King wrote this Roomba would be main character and be written out, and then the episode later because she forgot. Yeah, probably. How do buildings work? Would it have not fallen realistically? I don't know. That's what I'm wondering. How did they take the building? Rick and Michonne had sex. Like, it took hours for it to collapse. Like, yeah, that's kind of interesting. Oh yeah, fun fact, Wasteland, I actually did want to be an architect when I was a kid, but I went somewhere else. It just didn't work out for me. Imagine Jadis is pleading for a life, and Rick is like, I already made you a promise, machete. Ooh, yes, I would love that. But I don't think Rick's gonna do it. I think it's gonna be Michonne. Bro, it's a sheriff belt. I don't care, man. It's old. It's nasty. And not to mention, like, worn out. Like, my goodness, that belt has been used for everything. Like, he needs a new
Also,
one.
Hey,
what happens to
Brian.
his watch? Like that watch he always would always have. Like, did the CRM take the watch? I hope they did. Because if it's revealed
Yeah,
like, oh, he lost it, I'm not gonna like that.
Hey,
I feel
Brian.
like, yeah, go ahead.
So I just want to say that like if you think Jadis will die how you think, with Michonne sneaking up from behind her and stabbing her
Stabbing
with
her.
the katana, or
Hmm.
stabbing her from behind, that'll be very similar to what she did to the governor.
Right, but then again, it's like, see, like that. To be fair, like it has been 10 years since the governor died. It would be a cool callback, you know. I could see that happening. The police belt hasn't been used since he was taken. Right, but it was used a lot, like in the 8 seasons since. You know what I'm saying? It's been used a lot in the Walking Dead franchise. And part of the reason why I want Rick to lose his boots, his belt, his watch, is because as time goes throughout, as time passes in the apocalypse, characters should just not have a piece of clothing on them that's from before the apocalypse. It's just not realistic. Like, you know what I'm trying to say, guys? Like, characters should not really have anything from before the apocalypse. Like, it just, in my opinion, it just doesn't work because it's like, well, that character is still holding on to something that they don't need to be holding on to anymore. And also, like I said, how is it not used up? Like, I think Rick's boots had holes in them, mind you. Like, you know what I'm saying? They had tears in them. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, listen, you gotta just move on with something else. You gotta, look at me. I have had three laptops, okay? And I use my laptops. I'm very considerate of my laptops, but things happen. Like, I have to get a new one, unfortunately. You know, sometimes it just happens. Like, you know.
Yeah.
You should
Anyway,
put,
yeah.
Go
Speaking
ahead.
of Rick's watch, like, do you think the CRM took it? Like, do you think if
Yeah.
they took it, do you think he'll get it back or no?
No. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Maybe it's in his room, but here's what I'll say. When Rick was brought to the CRM, the doctors probably took his watch off, and we don't know if they gave it back to him. You know what I mean? Because he had to have surgery. So the doctors probably took his watch. You know, could he have gotten it back? Did Rick have his watch when he was a consignee, or did they give him a new watch? Because the CRM, they give you like military watches, right? So like, who knows? Like, you know what I'm saying? Can't like
Brian.
Rick. One second, man, real quick. Can't like Rick looks like an old dad with his clothes in episode 5. Yeah, he looks like Joel. He's like got this like lumberjack look. Like, what the heck? It's sad that Rick can't drive cars anymore because he's missing his hand. No, Josh, he can still drive, just not a stick. You know what I mean? His boots nasty as heck already. Yeah. Rick's boots ranked. Like, that's why he needed new ones. I've been a fan for longer than a decade now. Seeing Rick's stuff going away since the beginning makes me a little sad. Yeah, I know what you mean, Rick, but you have to say goodbye to Rick's old... You have to say goodbye to your old stuff. Like, it's just... I mean, think about it. Like, Rick's son is dead. His best friends have died. He might never see his other, friend Daryl ever again. Like, it's just holding on to a piece of clothing, like, when so many of your friends, your wife, your son died, I don't know, it just doesn't make sense to me, in my opinion. But yeah, Daryl's
Hey,
Vestwing can still be
Brian.
around, right? Oh yeah, because it's Daryl. He's a god. Go ahead, Nick.
Like, I find it funny how you're talking about like Rick's outfits when freaking Daryl has been wearing the same outfit from like season 4 all the way to season 11 or season 10. He's had the same freaking outfit on throughout all those freaking seasons, man.
Right. You know the reason. It's because AMC is like, no, we can't touch the precious Daryl. He is our precious. We must protect the precious. That's AMC with Daryl. They think that Daryl is this supermodel. And no disrespect to Norman Reedus. Okay, he's a good looking guy. But when you look at Daryl, I'm sorry, when you look at Daryl himself and he like never changes. Well, I think he did in the Daryl Dixon show. I think he finally got rid of his vest. I could be wrong. But like I said, it's like Daryl's hair and smell and clothes never change. The crossbow, but they kind of do it. They're starting to do it now, I suppose. But yeah, I will agree. Daryl has been kept the same for so long because they just are like, no, we can't change him because he's perfect. No, he's not. He smells. Like, okay. I don't know why Michonne's smelling those nasty boots. She wasn't thinking about, I don't know, she wasn't thinking. Do you think the Invincible show is better than the comics? I've never read the comics, Josh, so yeah, I'll say this show is better. Nah, bro, trust. Rick and Daryl's reunion will be the last reunion during the endgame of The Walking Dead. AMC wants to save that for last. I don't know if there is an endgame for The Walking Dead, Rick Grimes. I don't think there's an ending.
There
Uh,
should be.
yeah. Oh, hey, Dan. Man, thank you for staying, man, because I thought you left. I wouldn't have blamed you, honestly. Because, yeah, my streams are not the best. Daryl got that crusty vest. Yeah, it's crusty. AMC on a closed budget. LOL. Daryl Dixon season 1 is amazing. Anyone that hasn't seen it, I'd say go for a watch. Yeah. Thanks for the suggestion, Dan. It's just that me, I'm not gonna watch Daryl because I'm just so Daryled out. Like 11 seasons of Daryl Dixon, and I'm just like, man, I can't stop seeing him in my dreams. I can't stop seeing him when I'm at work or whatever. Like, we've had so much Daryl in The Walking Dead where I'm like, I can't, I have to, I need a break. I need several years of a break from Daryl because we've had so much. Let's talk about this side talk off stream. This is not the place. Get back to the episode. Wasteland, we've been going around for an hour. I can get sidetracked as much as I want. What if Daryl had blonde hair? Ooh, DeRosa. I don't know why, but I feel like Daryl will look terrible. I don't know why. I feel like he looked like one of those Swedish models or something. Like, I don't know. It would just look so bad, the hair dye. I don't know. I feel like he would just look bad. Daryl doesn't need a dye job. He needs a haircut.
Yeah. Oh, not to put nobody off. Like real quick, like you know that blonde-haired character from the Barbie movie, that male blonde-haired
Oh,
character.
Kendall.
Yeah,
Kendall.
he'll be, Daryl will be like that character. I'm like, oh hell no. I'm like, no.
Yes, Daryl will look like Kendall. Ken Daryl.
Oh
Guys, let's make this
no,
happen.
that'll be so corny.
Yes. Oh, and then Carol will call him my Ken doll, Ken Daryl. And Daryl will once again say, "Woman, I am not interested in you. You've chased me around the world now." I'm sorry.
I can
I'm just
understand why some people may not be a fan of Daryl, but I've always been a fan of him.
I like Daryl. I think he's a great. I think he's a good character, great character. But I don't think he's a main show character. You know what I'm saying? And also, the whole his look and all that. You know, being a Commonwealth soldier, not wearing the armor properly, that bugs me so much. Yeah. Didn't Daryl have a little blonde hair in season 1? No, it was just really light brown because that's just how his hair was when it was really short. Daryl is not in the episode, nor is Barbie. Get back to it, Brian. Please, it's the man. Okay, Wasteland, if you keep... I know you're joking, but dude, like, seriously, you gotta cut it out with the joking. You gotta put a LOL or an XD or something because I can't tell if you're joking. I know, I'm sure you are, but seriously, do not boss me around, okay? Like, I'm just saying, like, let me know you're joking. You see Daryl start singing. No, oh no, Daryl would be an awful singer. Do you think the returning character from The Walking Dead could be Gabriel? I don't think so, Josh. That's a good idea, but I don't think it's Gabriel. He's in Alexandria. He has a daughter. I just don't see it happening. All right, guys. We have 10 minutes left for the stream. Final thoughts about the episode, about Rick and Michonne as characters. Next episode, because like I said, I think next episode, Rick and Michonne are going to be in the cabin. They're going to meet some people. They're going to come across some zombies that have like hard shells on them, whatever, from the hot springs or geyser, whatever. And then Rick and Michonne are going to get chased by Jadis. They're going to kill her, and that's it. So, final thoughts, guys.
My final thoughts in regards to season 1, episode 4 of The Ones Who Live. Like I mentioned before, and I'm going to mention this again. I thought the episode was pretty decent. However, I do believe that there could be, I don't know, maybe looking back on it, maybe they could have done like a small scene with Jadis. Maybe there's like a scene with Jadis where she's like talking to some random CRM soldier where Jadis is like, well, I don't think Rick and this girl is dead. Like just one small scene just to solidify, like, you know, Jadis' suspicion of like, okay, I don't think they're dead.
Yeah.
But other than what I thought in the episode, I thought it was a decent episode. Sure, I mean, sure. I'm looking back on it. I'm not really a fan of it being like a filler episode, but it was still a decent episode.
Well, if
It's not
it's
like I
filler,
had any issues with it.
yeah. If it's filler, I think it's good filler. What about you,
Yeah.
Nick?
I agree. It was a decent episode, and I mostly like Walker Dead. It was a decent episode.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, there were some negatives I had with the episode, but that doesn't mean I'm going to say the episode was bad. There were some good moments in the episode.
Yeah, I admit the acting, dialogue, amazing. Would have liked a little bit more. I guess like part of me was kind of hoping there was more because I'm like, dang, we only have 2 left. You know, like I don't know, like I really want some CRM action. Like I don't know. I thought this. I don't know. We'll see. Low-key a wild card. Thank you for stopping, Rick. Good stream. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. In my opinion, it was a decent stream, but the stupid Wi-Fi kept cutting out, so I apologize for that. Hope you have a good night, man. Take care. Yeah, bye, man. Great streaming. Thanks, guys. Love this episode. Yeah, I know you love this episode, Dan. I really enjoyed it. I just think that, here's the thing, though. I'm not going to judge it as far as, this whole episode was about Rick and Michonne, no CRM action. I would have liked to see CRM action, but if there's a season 2, then I'm not going to judge it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if there's a season 2 where Rick and Michonne are going to fight CRM a lot more, I'll be like, okay, this episode is better now because it's like season 2, we have way more action. But if this really is the end of Rick and Michonne, I'll be like, yeah, like, you could have trimmed down just a tiny bit of the dialogue. Or, you know what I mean, like the arguing, just a tiny bit, because, like, yeah, if we really only have 2 episodes left of Rick and Michonne, oh boy, oh man, I don't know.
Hey, Brian.
Yeah, go ahead.
And another thing why I feel Jadis will die in episode 5 is the fact that like, if you're not going to kill Jadis, why have Michonne mentioned that we're going to kill her? Like Michonne mentioned, hey, we should kill Jadis. Like to me, that's kind of setting up that we're going to kill her in episode 5.
I agree. Even Rick said in episode 3 he's going to kill her. So, yeah, I think Jadis is going to die. It's going to happen. It's going to happen, man. We just got to wait. 10 out of 10 episode. Man, I'm glad you guys like this episode. 10 out of 10. I think it's like, right now I'm giving it 8.5. If there is a season 2 of The Ones Who Live, I might make it a 9. Like, you know what I mean? Because like I said, Rick and Michonne versus the CRM, we need much more of that than just Rick and Michonne. Like, you know what I mean? Especially if there's only 2 episodes left. I am so worried. Did you like the part where Michonne left Rick because he kept refusing to walk? Yeah, at this point, yeah, I was kind of with Michonne on this. She was kind of like packing up some stuff, and like she was kind of like, that was kind of like a walking out moment, and I did like that because with Michonne, it's 100% understandable that she's like, you know what, that's it. I've tried everything, and you're not listening. So yeah. That was a good scene. What if Mercer is the returning character, and he told Rick and Michonne that their people are at the Commonwealth? It's a bit of a stretch, but it would be wild. Yeah, it's a stretch, DeRosa, and it would be wild, but I don't think we're going to see Mercer at all. Because Mercer does not know Rick and Michonne at all. Also, Mercer's in Ohio at the Commonwealth, so why would he be in Oregon? Also, unfortunately, thanks to Ezekiel, he made Mercer his lieutenant governor, which, mind you, is not a real rank of being a politician, in office. That's not a real rank in office. Like I'm sorry, but Mercer was a soldier. He was a general. He was that guy to fight. But being a governor, a secretary, whatever he is, I don't know, man. It's just so yeah. Why would he be out here? Like it's not going to work. Michonne packing up is like me watching one move. 1 second, man. Denai did a fantastic job writing this episode as well. Yeah, she did, Dan. As far as Denai is better at writing episodes than Michael Cudlitz. I will say that. Go ahead, man.
So, do you think we'll ever see Kari Payton as Ezekiel ever again?
I'm gonna say 70% chance. No, or 2/3. 2/3 of a chance, no. Like a 1/3 of a chance, yes. Because I don't know where The Walking Dead is going. Like Maggie and Negan, their spinoff, it's its own thing. It's not connected to the universe. Daryl in France, that's not really connected to the universe. Like, is Carol coming back? Like, yeah, but it's just, in my opinion, I feel like AMC wants these spin-offs to go 5 seasons each. And if that happens, then there's going to be no connecting. Because you can't have a show going 5 seasons and then it connects with the other one. It's just not going to work. No Commonwealth mentions yet is unusual. Yeah, it is very unusual. Where the tail writers? I don't know, man. The tail writers are probably in a dumpster trying to scrounge for food. Because I'm sure AMC fired them after how horrible they wrote season 1. Those dudes were smoking crack. Oh yeah, no. They got the fumes from Ian and Andy. They were in the same room as Ian and Andy smoking crack, and they got high, super high from that. Not as high as Ian and Andy, but just high enough from contact. So yeah. By the way, guys, another few more minutes, and I'm going to be ending the stream. So if you guys have any last minute questions you want to ask me, please ask them. I will be streaming again next week for episode 5. So yeah.
Yeah, I do have some last minute questions.
Okay. Hold on, guys. One at a time.
No, I was just gonna say, like, again, Brian, me personally, I'd be fine if I never saw Morgan Jones ever again, because I never want to see his face ever again. So.
Yeah, I feel you. No disrespect to Lenny James. It's just a Morgan character. Like, I just don't ever want to see him again because Morgan is just dead to me as a character. Like, I don't like him anymore. Like, he's worse than Iris at this point. Like, it's sad, but it's true. That's how I feel. He's worse than Iris because you have this talented actor who was given the worst writing in the universe. So it makes me hate the character. Like, I've hated the character to the point I never want to see him again. They had Terry Crews, Hyatt Pies, and food. Yeah, that's true. Don't let Ian and Andy near any notebooks or pens, anything. Yep. What's wrong with Michael Cudlett's writing? Well, like, which episodes did he direct? I don't think any of them were as good as this episode. I'm not saying he's a bad writer. I'm just saying that, didn't he do an episode and I was just like, it was okay. But this episode was good, like good, So yeah,
I'm pretty sure Michael Cudlitz wrote season 9, episode 7 of the main show.
Episode 7, huh? Well,
Yeah,
season
9, episode 7, Stradivarius or whatever it's called.
How would a Fear the Walking Dead Rick Grimes look like? I don't want to know. He's probably become pacifist. Yeah, he would. Walker Dead, you have any last minute things you want to ask me? Because I'm going to end. Go ahead.
Yeah. My first last minute question is, like, what are your honest predictions? Like, what are your predictions for, like, season 1, episode 5?
Season 1, episode 5. I already said it. I think that Rick and Michonne are going to spend some time in the cabin. They're going to come across some strangers, and then Jadis is going to attack them, and then Michonne's going to kill Jadis, and then Michonne's going to be like, we have to go back or something. I have no idea how they're going to do that. Would you like to see Dwight and Cher again in the universe after their story got wrapped up in Fear season 8? Not really, Josh, because I don't know. I don't know how, like, what you could put them in. I mean, would I like to see them again? Yeah, I wouldn't hate it, but I'm not looking forward to it. Like, it's not a must, you know what I mean? But, like, I wouldn't hate it as much as, like, Morgan. I'd love to see Negan and Dwight see each other again. I don't think it's happening, DeRosa. You gotta remember, Negan is stuck in the freaking future thanks to AMC. So Dwight and Cherry have to, like, age up 5 years in order for that to work. All right, guys. Any last minute questions?
My second and final last minute question is, my second and final last minute question is, so, like, would you be down to do another Walking Dead stream like this, but with me, you, and Dan? Like, would you be down to do it?
I would, but here's the thing, though. Dan is very busy, and I think here's the thing. Also, Dan and I and Mega Matt, we agreed to like do another stream sometime after the finale.
Okay.
So yeah, and obviously it has to be cool with him. So, you know what I'm saying? So like, I have to check with them if it's doable, and also like how many people. Because if there's 4 people talking, that is a lot. But but obviously, if it's fine with them, then it's fine with me. It just depends on them, man. So, yeah.
Yeah, I
Dwight is
totally
underrated.
understand, and I mean, I don't have no problem with it. I mean, at this point, I want to make things right between Dan and Matt, and it's all right with me, and if it's okay with them, and if it's okay with you, it's okay with me.
It's okay with me as long as it's okay with Dan and Mega Man.
Right.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much. That is our hour and a half. Like I said, I apologize for the technical difficulties. I have a new laptop and Wi-Fi is not really working as well as before. It may take some time. Yeah, Austin and me. Oh yeah, Mega Man and Dan writing shows and making vids. Yeah, they are very busy with that. So I don't want to like ask them to come to my streams every single week because it's just not doable. It's just not because they're busy, and I understand that, and I respect them for that. As far like I'm busy too, like working on Extinction, which by the way, guys, Extinction is coming back this Wednesday, the premiere, but the mid-season premiere. But the last 8 episodes are coming out this spring and summer, so like they're gonna be spread out. But yeah, so you guys have that to look forward to. Hope you guys can check it out. But yeah, writing shows and making videos, it's hard. Like. And also, guys, I have a full-time job and family that need me sometimes. So, yeah, I'm just unfortunately not, able to do videos too much. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for the stream. You guys, thank you so much for co-hosting with me. I'm glad you guys came. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. And I'll still see you on Discord, though. We can still chat if you guys have any more questions. But yeah, thank you guys, everyone who came in the chat. Thank you guys for co-hosting with me. And I hope you all have a great night.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Take care, guys. Bye.
You too.
Hey, Walker, Dad.
So.